The land debate, it's been an issue that has been ongoing, especially now that Parliament has taken that resolution that there must be land expropriation without compensation. It has been a very difficult one, and when I tried to speak to the leader of the DA earlier this week, he said that the DA is quite clear that the Constitution, as well as Section 25 of the Constitution, that there's nothing wrong with the Constitution as it stands, and there must be some sort of compensation, as the Constitution states that there must be just and equitable compensation. But his interpretation of it is that sometimes it doesn't even mean paying millions of rands, even if it means paying 100,000 or paying 100 rand for a piece of land. He says that the Constitution is quite clear what should happen, but it's quite interesting how the DA really resolves this issue. Let me just quickly bring in the Executive Director for the DA's communications, Siviwe Khwaripo, who joins me now this morning. Siviwe, quite an exciting moment, I guess, for the DA, the biggest Congress in the history of the party.
Absolutely. I mean, we have grown exponentially since 2015, our last Congress. We had about 1,200 delegates then. We are expecting over 2,000 delegates this time around. And it's very exciting. Our delegates have started to arrive in Tshwane, coming from all corners of the country.
What do you think makes the DA so attractive to especially some of the constituencies which haven't really been historical constituencies of the party?
I think what is really setting the DA aside in the political landscape in the country at the moment is the fact that we're a diverse party. We're an open opportunity party at all costs. I mean, you see young people leading in the party, you see women leading in the party, and so I think people get the sense that you don't have to slog away for years and years or know people to be able to occupy a decision-making position in the party. And I also think that the South Africans are really starting to understand that the DA is their only real alternative outside of the ANC, and so and that I think has become something that the DA has owned in the South African context.
But one of the criticism that the party has faced is how do you ensure that you have the black faces that occupy those top leadership positions within the party from its various structures, whether it be in Parliament, for instance?
Yeah, look, I mean, diversity is one of our big values in the organisation, and one of the things that Msimanga feels very strongly about. And his sense is that we need to be diverse, but not only in the very myopic and very restricted sense, which the ANC and other our opponents will start to peddle, but in a broader sense, where we say we need to have women in leadership positions, we need to have young people, we need to have people of different sexual orientations, different religious influences. And so I think when you look at in terms of diversity across the political landscape, the DA is the most diverse political party, and our leadership is diverse. I mean, often one of the things that our detractors will not even mention, I mean, 8 of our 9 provincial leaders are black. All our federal leaders now, as we've elected the DA network, women's network leader, is a black accomplished young woman, and we've got a DA youth leader, and then of course Msimanga. And so this is often a myth that is used to discredit the DA at all costs, but we are a growing party that has a diverse leadership, and we'll keep going from strength to strength.
And of course, later this morning we will be speaking to Noma French, who has been elected the leader of Dawn, as well as Luyolo, who's been elected the leader of the youth. But let's just quickly speak about getting access to this event. I know that various platforms that the DA has made available to its various constituencies, as well as people who would like to follow the proceedings as they take place.
Yeah, so people at home can follow the proceedings live on SABC from 9:30 until 12 o'clock. And various platforms on satellite, SABC, ENCA, ANN7. They can also follow us on Twitter, Facebook, on the DA platforms, where we'll be live streaming all the proceedings.
Well, certainly. Well, we'll be here for the entire day, as well as tomorrow. As I've indicated, that we'll be having various guests that we'll be speaking to, as well as this issue, this clause that you've hinted on, the diversity clause that many have been pushing for within the party and see whether indeed it does find expression. It depends on who you speak to about the diversity clause and whether there is a need for a diversity clause within the party. James Self, also the Federal Council Chairperson, will be one of the guests who will be joining me later this morning. For now, Pearl, let's go to you with the sports.
While in the world of sport, Chadler closed